How was your schedule affected last year? If you could describe December last year.
December was a nightmare, and January wasn't much better either. Because of the frost, I was unable to come up to uni most Mondays because I'd usually leave about 6:30 in the morning from Donegal. So due to the bad frost and snow, I was prevented from coming up to university. Last year I was renting a house, so I still had to pay rent, and I was paying for fuel and electricity as well in a house that I wasn't actually living in. That was really inconvenient for me because I lost out on a lot of money. There must have been about 6 weeks, I think, over the winter that I wasn't actually up there at all, but I was still paying rent and paying for bills. There was 2 essays that I missed in January. I think it was January and the beginning of February, and I just had to get in touch with the lecturers and email them copies and then post them up, hard copies as well. The law exam I did drive up for, and it was really bad, and it took me about 4 hours to get up, and by the time I reached university, I got an email saying that it had been cancelled, so that was a complete waste of time for me. But I suppose there's nothing really that the lecturers can do with the weather, so kind of out of our hands. Like today, with the wet weather, where I live is quite rural, so a lot of the smaller roads were flooded, which is a bit of a pain when it comes to actually travelling up to university.
It's really ironic though, considering we're chatting about not being able to get to school because of the weather.
I know, yeah. Of all mornings like that.
Yeah.
It's happened. But I think we're actually due snow tonight as well, so I'm really hoping I'm going to get up tomorrow, fingers crossed.
So how have Translink been preparing for the snowy season? Operations Technical Manager for Buses, William Patton, and Trains, Gary Cooley, explain winterization.
With a number of things in place, including fleet winterization programme. Now that involves substantial maintenance work, extra maintenance work we've done on vehicles to make sure that their heating systems are all upgraded and in place for the winter period. We're also planning to have additional supplies of salt so that our depots will run and be open. There's only so much we can do. If there's really deep snow, we just can't get through it. Trains are probably more reliable because it's easier to keep a track clear. Buses, as I said earlier, the main routes are less of a problem because they're treated on a daily basis, often more than that, by DRD road services. It's the minor routes really that aren't treated that can pose a difficulty, because if there is extreme conditions, if there is ice and it's not treated, then it's obviously not safe to operate on.
Whatever the weather, I mean, last year was sort of unprecedented. It was adverse. We actually ran and had quite a positive performance. I mean, we ran 95% of all of our train services between 22nd of November and 26th of December, when it was sub-zero and there was heavy flurries of snow, and the whole of the transport and the whole of Northern Ireland was greatly affected, and we still had a very positive performance. We did suffer delays because of some issues at points, and particularly level crossings, and with some trains that suffered some failures because of freezing brake systems. But again, we're trying to build upon some of the lessons we learned last year. Some of the measures that I've just talked about at the points and the crossings, we're trying to improve on. And although we're hopeful that we don't get another adverse winter like we did last year, we're still confident that we're going to run a quite punctual service, during the winter, which we always do.